Believe it or not, it's been 20 years since one of the deadliest catastrophes in U.S. history. I'm talking about Hurricane Katrina. I had the honor and the chance to talk with director Tracy A. Curry about the new limited series Hurricane Katrina: Race Against Time. There are so many catastrophic stories that need to be told out of this event. Why is it important for you to tell these stories? I know during things like the Holocaust, remembering, being a witness is so important. Is that the same in this event? Talk to me about that.
Yes, Tori, I think, the way that memory works is very interesting because when it comes to Katrina, I think those of us who experienced it as spectators, which is to say those of us who were sort of at home watching it unfold in our televisions, we tend to remember Katrina as something that happened to America. And it wasn't. It was something that happened to the people of New Orleans, very specifically, and to their city, and that continues to resonate in their lives to this day. So what we really set out to do in the series is to restore the story of what happened to the people who lived it, which is to say the people in the city of New Orleans.
Amazing, amazing, so important. I want to know about the title. It is Hurricane Katrina: Race Against Time. Tell me a little bit more about that.
Yeah, well, our network partners at National Geographic have a franchise called Race Against Time. I believe the first series aired last year that was about the Boxing Day tsunami. And so they sort of wanted us to be a part of that franchise because there's so many sort of parallels in the story. And so that's why we're Race Against Time.
If you're still hearing us and you haven't left yet, please leave. I hate to say this, but I just don't have enough body bags.
Now, as a director, you have an obligation to tell these gut-wrenching stories. How do you approach that? How do you even start?
Yeah, well, I like to begin with the understanding that this is a profoundly traumatic experience and continues to be for the people that lived it. And so I and the team try to approach everyone who is in the series with that understanding and to have care for what it is that we're asking them to do, and also give people the opportunity to say no if that's what they want to do. And we're fortunate enough that there were so many people who you see in the series who were gracious and really courageous enough to revisit what happened to them so that the truth might be told. And it was my job and our job to kind of sit with them and be with them and support them in it and give them the most open and supportive platform to be able to share the truth of what happened and what they experienced.
What a great responsibility you had. And I'm so glad we're telling these stories. I want to know, what are you hoping as a director, and just as someone who, we all lived through it, what are you hoping we as a viewer take away from it?
Yeah, there are a couple things. I think very specifically, there's a way in which there was a really erroneous and harmful narrative about how the people of New Orleans comported themselves during Katrina. They sort of descended into this predatory, animalistic state, when the reality is that the very opposite. In the most inhumane of conditions, the people of New Orleans maintained their humanity and these close ties of kinship and community that they have, and just really tried to save themselves and others during this time. On a larger scale, I would hope that we understand that 20 years later, Katrina has a lot to teach us about catastrophes, weather-related catastrophes, which we're seeing happen more and more, and the way that we should really center the humanity of people and how we respond to those incidents.
Amazing. Now, I just have to ask you, why do you think Hurricane Katrina has so much impact to this day? And is it because of people like you telling the stories, bearing witness?
Yeah, I think part of it is just, it was a spectacle at the time. Like, this was sort of, 2005, this is everyone has a phone in their hand, but it also was sort of a big moment for the 24-hour kind of cable news cycle. It was one of the sort of first big events that we all participated in as spectators together. And those images of the suffering of people who were abandoned in, what was the most powerful country in the world with all of these resources, I think it was just shocking to people and has just really kind of stuck in the minds and hearts of folks all these years later. But also is why I think it's been such a compelling story to tell for so many filmmakers over the years, including myself.
Well, I'm so glad you are bearing witness and that we're able to see this. Thank you so much for bearing witness and being a storyteller. I hope we all tune in and learn something important about what happened that day. So thank you so much. Appreciate it. Wow, Hurricane Katrina: Race Against Time, a limited series, is streaming now on Disney Plus and Hulu.